Turan is a gifted young wizard traveling under an uncertain Zahar heritage. After becoming involved with Lady Misa's campaign against the Necromancer King, he is visited in the snowy town of Kalamaf by Kiorn, the wandering wizard who first taught him how to understand his power. Over tea, Kiorn explains that he rejoined Arabian's subjugation force after hearing about the war and has already fought dark elves several times. Turan asks whether Kiorn exposed his bloodline, but Kiorn says no, and Turan detects no lie. Kiorn is now serving as Lady Misa's messenger. He says they are not especially close, although they have met several times. Turan then mentions the embarrassing hero Kiorn title and the public play, so Kiorn wisely returns to the real reason for his visit. Misa's proposal concerns the self-proclaimed Necromancer King. Arabian's force found his lair, but 8 nobles and more than 200 knights died against many lethal magic artifacts. Misa believes the enemy excavated ancient dwarven relics, while Turan's thought about Zahar involvement remains only a question. Kiorn asks whether Talis Zahar could be Turan's father. Turan is still searching for evidence and does not confirm it, though people who know Talis have noticed a resemblance. Kiorn says wartime masks kept the real faces of most Zahar nobles unknown in Arabian. Turan asks why Arabian cannot send more help. Kiorn believes the family head might end the problem quickly, but the lair would turn weaker mages into more casualties, and Misa's position makes requesting support from the main family difficult. Even a successor has limits. Kiorn produces an Arabian reward called the Infinite Pouch. Although it is only a low-grade holy relic, it can hold objects up to 1,000 times its own size without adding any felt weight. Turan immediately sees how useful that would be while traveling. Kiorn says Misa believes Turan's help can make the subjugation succeed. Turan agrees because he does not want Misa hurt and also remembers owing her for thought acceleration magic. He and Kiorn then reach the damaged base, where Misa asks if he came to help. Misa is injured, but she says many others are in worse condition and the remaining healing mana is limited. She treats her own wound as minor and wants to attack before the enemy regains its strength, so the group prepares to move without waiting longer. Misa introduces Turan as her friend, an ally of House Berg, and a fighter she trusts. Vice Commander Kudram Arabian still sees his unknown background as a risk and demands proof of a bloodline ability, arguing that Turan could be a disguised Zahar spy. Turan sends a branch into a large orange barrier and presents himself as a barrier mage. Kadram finds that ability limited, but accepts Turan's large mana as useful. In truth, Turan chose a safe-looking effect he had practiced with a relic, keeping his real bloodline hidden. Misa ends the objections and lets Kiorn return to his post. She then surrounds herself and Turan with green wind so their conversation cannot leak outside. When she asks about the copied barrier ability, Turan explains that it came from a restricted magic tool. Misa says Turan should have warned her so they could coordinate. Turan answers that he was not sure a demonstration would be needed, but Kadram's suspicion left him little choice. Misa admits his sudden arrival surprised her, and neither of them plans to fall behind. The subjugation force marches through the snowy mountains and gathers at a narrow split in the rock. Inside, the passage opens into a vast dark structure of stone or crystal. Turan can hardly believe the strange underground place in front of him. The soldiers draw their weapons when they find a floor covered in blood but no bodies. Turan considers 2 grim possibilities. The corpses may have been turned into undead, or the dark elves may have used them as food. The chapter confirms neither explanation. Blue lights reveal many humanoid figures in the cavern. Turan thinks some are dark elves and estimates that about 20 with glowing brain-like patterns are necromancers. They resemble monsters from the underground labyrinth, but their head flames look much wilder. Misa warns that the enemy is coming, and Arabian soldiers prepare for battle. Large armed creatures emerge from holes across the cavern walls, including one carrying a cannon-like device. An unidentified voice orders the demons killed as the creatures close around Turan.